Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of One Punch Man, chapter 180, in the middle of something. In the last chapter, we have Tatsumaki, Saitama going at it. Are they flirting? Possibly. Am I in agreement that they're flirting? Not necessarily. I'm more of a Genos Tatsumaki kind of fan, but nonetheless, they are squabbling. It seems like they're kind of it seems like they're both having fun with it. They're kind of taking the piss, as people would say, out of each other or whatever. But it seems like towards the end, Saitama's kind of getting over it, and that's where the chapter ends. And let's begin this chapter. So once again, fights continue. This fight-ish, quote-unquote, is continuing. Saitama has lost all his motivation to entertain Tatsumaki in any capacity. He's like, all right, I'm over it, I want to go home. And Tatsumaki decides to just blow him back. Like, she sends like a crazy shockwave and she shoots him. Then she just keeps shooting him, which is interesting, right? And we just cut away from that, and we cut inside the Hero Association where Fubuki and the Fubuki group are, right? And so, Fubuki's like, oh, my team, Tatsumaki's gone crazy. Well, not gone crazy, but like, she's like, now she's already said like, I need to drop them. I don't think she's gonna give up on it, whatever. And she's all sad and stuff, right? And so the Fubuki group's like, hey, let us know what's going on. We'll do our best. We won't make another mistake like that again. Yada yada yada. And Fubuki stares off into the thingy, and she's just like, nah, I gotta get rid of you guys. You guys are useless. Peace. Don't follow me. And they're just all in shock. They're deeply wounded, and she just flies away. I'm like, dang. Did your guys dirty? It's kind of trash. But anyway. Clear from that, we get like this side story, right? Immediately when this starts happening, I'm like, wait, did I miss something? Because I would say I'm like the deepest One Punch Man fan. Like, I keep up, I know my stuff, but I ain't deep. So you can imagine my confusion when I'm like, what do you mean, like, you have this whole side story going on? So I'm like, did I miss something? Like, am I missing a plot point? Well, I'm not. Basically, this guy named Feather and this gang called the Iron Fists or whatever, right? And so he comes here to save this woman, right? But apparently it was a trick, and the woman is the boss of the gang's wife, girlfriend, whatever. But anyway, like, she's like, oh, look at you all hurt and stuff. You thought you were protecting me, but actually I was just acting to draw you in, and now I'm gonna have you killed. And Feather's like, clichely, he's like, oh, you're such a terrible actor. And she's like, and then we cut to her eyes, and she's crying and whatever. And the boss comes in, and he's like, well, I want to beat this guy myself. And then he's like, oh, really? Well, if there's no hostage, then, well, I can let loose, so let's go at it, whatever. He's like, this will be my climax as a hero. Crazy way to put it. Climax is a little sus. Put a pause on that. But nonetheless, right? This is a crazy moment, whatever. As soon as I see this page, this will be my climax as a hero, I'm like, yeah, something's about to happen here. It's gonna be funny. And it was. Immediately, Saitama, through the wall, knocks out Feather. This guy knocked out, and he's just like, oh, my bad. Any damages to the building, put it to her tab. And Tatsumaki shows up, and she's just like, oh, you can't just go blasting through walls like that. And he's like, going through me through the wall. And the gangs just stand there sweating. They're just like, holy fuck. A rank 2 pro hero, Tornado of Terror, is in front of us right now. And the little girl, not the little girl, but the woman is basically like, oh my god, Feather. Well, not like oh my god, but she's like checking on him. And the boss of the gang is like, what? S classes are in shit anyway, all right? You guys, let's get to it. And he hits Saitama, and so Saitama hits him, and he dies. That is the end of his story. The guys are like, oh, you know, you just knocked out our boss, we gotta get you. And so Tatsumaki's like, we're in the middle of something, stop. And so they all die. There we go. Just like two calamities just casually showing up, fucking shit up, and going upon their business. We love it, right? And so they just leave. They just beat up the whole gang, beat up the boss, left. And Feather gets up, it seems, and he's talking to the girl. And basically they're like having a moment. He's like having this deep talk. He's like, you know, you don't have to be worried about the past anymore. Like, you can be free and do what you want. And so obviously the idea was be that if he had saved her, everything, they would be together. But now it seems like she's just like a fangirl of Tornado, which is interesting. I don't know if this is supposed to be like, you know, a little like she's down with the girlies, but yeah, this is it's interesting. We got like the hero guy, Feather, pretty guy by the way, but he's making a face like he's thinking. He says like, I feel like I got hit by a truck. I'm gonna go home after saying my embarrassing line. I'm gonna go home and sleep forever possibly and forget all about this. I'm like, dang, I'm running this whole moment. Go away to another city, another area, right? Basically it's being attacked by this giant rat thing that kind of looks like a hedgehog too, but it just shows up and it's destroying the town. It's a dragon level threat, whatever. And we got my man Metal Bat on the case. My man is hauling ass to show up because he's like, my beloved cat is giving birth, and I'm over here trying to deal with a monster or whatever. So I'm like, oh snap, we're gonna get to see Metal Bat do anything. But I already know this is like a gag manga, not gag manga. I already know this is a gag chapter, so I'm like, damn, he's not gonna get to do shit. So he's like yelling at the rat. He's like, hey, you're fucking up my time, so prepare yourself to die, like promptly. And Saitama gets thrown through the monster by Tatsumaki. Shit, and one shots him. Like, he gets one shot by a non-attack. And then, well, actually no, she didn't get thrown through. Saitama doesn't get thrown through the rat thing, right? No. Tatsumaki is propelling both of them through the air, pushes him through the rat thing, then throws him through 3 buildings. And Saitama's response is being mad about the fact that she won't stop breaking stuff. And Melba is just like, I mean, as he mentions, he ran a marathon just to get over here, and he has to get back soon. And now he didn't even have to do anything. He could have stayed his ass at home. So now he's pissed, but he goes home, he keeps it chill, and that's the end of the chapter. Very good chapter here. Not too much to discuss really. Like I said, this is more like a gag chapter, not really supposed to be too story heavy. Obviously Saitama and Tatsumaki are continuing to fight. Like I said, it doesn't seem very serious. It seems like at this point they're just kind of, Tatsumaki is basically just throwing hands just for the sake of throwing hands, not for like any particular reason. I know at the very beginning of the chapter she does mention like, oh, you know, you're not good enough for my sister, or whatever. But it doesn't really feel like that's like really the point. I mean, for real, because I mean, to all things considered, Saitama's not even talking about her sister at all at this point. The section with Feather, interesting, pretty funny. I liked it. Section with Melbat, also good, pretty funny. I liked it. The section with Fubuki, that is fairly interesting, but from my understanding of what happens in the webcomic, it seems like this, from what I remember at least, it probably what's going to happen is that towards the end of this, she's probably going to go meet with Tatsumaki and talk to her, right? And by the end of the conversation, Tatsumaki is going to acknowledge the group, and the group and Fubuki are going to stick together, and everything's going to kind of go back to its old ways, but like a little bit of like growth through character development. And that's going to be that is my thought process on everything. So with that being said, yeah, that's pretty much it for this chapter. Like I said, not too much going on. Good chapter overall, all that stuff. All right, with that all being said, thank you for watching, and the doc is out. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the doc is out. Bye.